Hey guys, welcome to Raj Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing? And winner, winner, chicken dinner. We got the chicken back, and we had a winning day. So far this week we are 2 days up, 2 days down, but we are ahead for the week. So tomorrow will be the big day. But welcome everyone. If it's your first time watching, make sure you click that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Facebook, make sure to follow me and make sure you have your notifications on because we are a live show and you're not going to want to miss it. But let's get right into it. This is very unusual for me. Every single every single thing in the account today is green. Some by not very much, but every single thing is in the green. So if we can do this tomorrow, it's going to be huge. We obviously still have a very large position in CCIV. Going into tomorrow, most of the premium is out of all the pricing now. So maybe about $25,000 left in intrinsic value. So what does that mean? It means if CCIV was to stay at the price it's at right now, we'd be up $25,000 tomorrow. If CCIV goes down, we have about a 10 cent cushion. And if CCIV by a freaking miracle could just run a point tomorrow, we would have like a $300,000 up day. So that is what we're looking at. The good news is no matter what, when we roll out and we go out tomorrow and I do my new trades, we'll pick up another 50 to 75 cents a contract. So if I do roll out all 3,000 contracts, we're going to pick up another 150 to 200,000 going into next week to add to these totals. At some time, this CCIV is going to be above 25 very soon. It almost did it this week, and then they said it's been a roller coaster ride, and today it got going again and got up to almost 20, 2340, like 2340, I don't know, somewhere there, 2340 or 40 or something. 2336. So it actually was lower today too at one point. So at least it reversed that. But we're gonna catch this thing at some point. Jaguar had an update today, nice little update there. IDEX was down for a while and came back. But it's very interesting too. While the stock is up 3 cents, not much, the 3 cents came off of this. So this is working out nice. We still have 15,000 left. That has one more week until next Friday. But things are looking good. We're coming along looking good. Can't complain. So great day today. $123,000 up today, and stuff's looking good. Currently looking ahead for tomorrow. Futures are already up a little bit. So we already had S&P 500 at new highs today in the Dow and stuff. So the NASDAQ's coming back. Also, if you guys have been watching, Apple has been getting stronger and stronger, coming back to life from where it was. And like I said, I knew at the 118, 120, this was a good buy. Will this go all the way back to? Will this go all the way back to 145 to all-time highs? I don't know. I think it definitely has a good possibility to get up to 135 or so. If it keeps going up, that's going to obviously help the Nasdaq and S&P 500. It's a big one in there. Facebook was a little bit off today after that big rally the last couple of days. So it pulled back a little bit. It was down a lot more earlier, but I still think, like I said, I think this one, great company, great stock. I just think it's overvalued. Tesla today had a good day. I know yesterday somebody was asking about those 700 contracts. At one point today, this was up to 689. So those contracts should definitely be getting better. Hopefully that guy was able to get out of them or do something else with them. But everything's looking good. So like I said, we just need to have a nice day for tomorrow. Bitcoin is back up today a little bit, coming back from 56,000 yesterday. No trades today. I didn't make any trades. I figure I'm saving them all for tomorrow. I didn't really see anything worth making. So you know what? Like I always tell people, don't over trade. Don't over trade. In other news, unfortunately today, the research team was down a little bit, $900 down today. They make a lot of trades every day. Some are doing really well, some not so well. I'll give you guys a recap from the research team. But unfortunately, a down day, but they're still up overall in the last 5 days of trading since they started. Sitting in 4 down plays right now that are hurting the account: SRSR, MKGP, EEENF, NRPI. But they say EENF and NRPI, they're expecting movement on still. So MKGP will have a day soon. I will probably grab some more of it if it stays down here. SRSR is a sleeper. We'll look at it closely tomorrow. Big runner day for RGBP. BP traded it 3 times. We'll look at it in the AM to see if it has a sell-off or a continuation. FTG had a great day. I'm looking for follow-through on it tomorrow. Added PVSP today on some dips. Looking for it to test a penny soon. AAGC is about to break out, they feel. ONCI was a new added today on a new description on OTC markets. An attorney letter came out last night on that one. Add an MLHC again today, expecting filings to hit any day. IDGC, again, IGGC expecting updates and PR to follow, and added IGEX again today on confirmation of the change of control. So that's what we got from the research team and Kenny. Like I said, guys, and welcome all our Patreon members. In real time, any trades I make, I put on our Patreon page. Everyone else in Patreon, we have the private Facebook group, and that's where any of you guys can interact, get help from Kenny and the research team, and that is where they're posting all their trades as they're making them in real time. And they make a lot of trades. As you can see here, lots of activity here every day going on. These are all the ones that they, I guess, sold today or aren't playing today. This one did good for me, that Verdi Bio Holdings. Something's back up and stuff. I played some of these, and I may play some again in the future. The PPJ we played, that one made us some money back in the day. So lots of good stuff there. But guys, like I said, CCIV, that is our big one again for tomorrow. Like I said, I would love this thing. If this thing could just have its day tomorrow, it would be terrific. But you never know. It is what it is. We'll keep carrying it through, and no matter what, we're going to roll these out. It is a large position, so hopefully it doesn't drop, a point or something, because if it did, we'd still roll out. We'd still pick up that 50 to 70 cents, but we would be, the account would be down 250,000. So definitely don't want to see that happen. Much rather have an up day and make some money and like I said, get this thing back on track and get our growth going again. So still up for the year, 21%. So can't complain. But what do you guys got? And what looks interesting to you? So Margaret says, is that wise to invest in so many stocks? So I've had this discussion with Kenny and the research team, and this is what you got to look at. This is very interesting with that one. It's like I said, I don't like to play that many stocks, because if I do play that many stocks, that seems to be where you sometimes get into some trouble, because it's a lot of stuff to keep track of. Especially on the OTC stocks, you have to really play those they call them swing trades. Most OTC stocks aren't ones that you want to sit on long term and hold. You also don't want to go crazy in them and invest tons of money. Don't put your entire bankroll, in your life savings in one OTC stock. I mean, unless you really, really know something about it. They can run and they can make a lot of money. And, it's very easy from something to go from 1/10 of a penny to a penny. And that thing's $1,000 increase. It's incredible. Some of these stocks have a lot of volume, so it's easy to get out of them. Others, they don't have as much volume on them, so it's harder to get out. So while it's easy sometimes to buy 100,000 shares at a penny, all of a sudden when you go to sell 100,000 shares at a penny or 5 cents, it becomes very difficult. So Blue, and this will be an example I'll give you guys. Blue Acquisition, I got out of GRMC yesterday, and it goes up nice today. And I did also. I saw that volume increase. But for an example, we'll pull up GRMC, and this is one we had for a long time. We made money on it. But on 80,000 shares today, this is up 11%. So this is a very interesting one. This is one where it's very, very low volume. When I was buying it up, it was like 3 cents, and every time I started buying too much of it at a time, it would just start going up. So you have to kind of set limit orders and kind of accumulate it. This was one we were waiting on news. The news hasn't hit yet, hadn't hit yet. And I just felt, I had money in it, and just to clear it off, my list is a profit. Of course, will probably go to $1, and I'll kick myself and say, if only I waited, a day, a week, a year. but it was very hard to sell 500,000 shares. I was fortunate enough that there was just happened to be a buyer that day. As you can see, like I said, on 80,000 shares at 5 cents, that's only $4,000 ran a stock 11%. I could tell you right now, if I hit this, if you went to sell 100,000 shares of this stock, it would probably, unless somebody is trying to accumulate it again, it would probably drop it back to the 5 cents. So it'll be interesting. We can watch it. But this is what I was saying is you have to be very careful with these. You can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money. Now, for a smaller scale player, let's say you throw $100 at this one at 5 cents. And you buy, I don't know, 2,000 shares for $100. It's going to be very easy to sell 2,000 shares, and if it goes up 11% on your $100, you make 11%. It doesn't really matter if it's $1, $100, $1,000, $1,000,000. If you make 11%, you make 11% on your money. If your money's sitting in the bank, you're not making more than 0.5%. So if you can make 11% in a day, a week, that's a terrific return on investment. Doesn't really matter how much it is. Obviously, 11% on $100, you can't live all week long making $11, even though it's a great return. On $1,000, making 11% for the week, you'd make $110. It would still be tough to live. On $1,000,000, if you made 11% for the week and you made $110,000, you'd probably live a pretty good week. So that's why I said you just want to look at that kind of stuff, and that's how it all works and stuff. So. Slot Machine wins by Chico. Can you explain volume on a stock as far as not being able to sell? Yeah. So that's what I was just saying. So if there's no volume in it, or there's no buyers or no sellers, I mean, it's the buyers and sellers which make the stock either go up or down. Supply and demand. If there's zero volume in a stock, it makes it very tough. So another one we've been playing that I still do have in the account, and we're waiting on that news. Is TTYX, and this is the one that is supposed to have the name change and different stuff. This one was up today, almost 4%, and starting to move again. Volume was 1.1 million. Another thing is, always remember when you see volume, usually that's 50. One thing is, I always think volume is kind of misleading. So actually, like on GRMC with volume of 80,000. Now, market makers could have had some of that stock, but usually they're matching people up or when stuff's moving. So when you see something, traded, 100 million shares today, that really may have only been 50 million shares. It's still 100 million transactions or shares traded, but it's 50 million people buying, 50 million people selling it. Obviously, if a few more people are buying it or the demand's there, it's going up. But it's the volume is kind of, to me, is kind of misaccurate in how it all works, because if you have a buyer and a seller, but it counts as, if I sell 100 shares, that counts as 100 shares. If I buy 100 shares, that counts as 100 shares. That creates 200 shares of volume. So on GRMC, for example, 80,000 shares may have really only been $40,000 or 40,000 in volume. So for $2,000 today, that stock may have ran 11%. And like I said, on a stock like that, when you go to try and sell a lot of shares, it's going to come down really quick unless somebody else has limit orders in or is trying to accumulate it and knows something we don't know. But some of these other penny stocks like that EENF that's trading 100 million shares a day, or it was, I don't know what it did today. 482 million shares. This one here, if you have a million shares, 100, if you have 100,000 shares, a million shares of this one, you can pretty much get out of it pretty quickly around whatever the bid price is of it. The other thing that's very interesting is, when you look at this one, while it was down today, a point, to a one fraction of a penny, it's very interesting that with that, I mean, you would just think something with that much volume would just really move or do something. So it's kind of interesting. It's like the day when it ran, I think it was like wasn't that day like 1 billion something share? It was crazy, right? But look how fast it ran. So obviously somebody that next day just was blasting it. I don't know. Very interesting. Hard to say with these, but a lot of that stuff goes up and down quickly and stuff. So. What is up with Naked Brand, bigger and bigger hole? I don't know. Naked Brand. Whoops. There you go. Naked Brand. Take a look at that one. see. Yeah. I don't know. I remember we played that one. I think I got out at like around $1.05 or something. Same thing. I mean, this is just one that you know. And this is like I always tell you guys. This is one, and a lot of these. This is if enough people play this and enough people talk about it, these things will rocket ship. If enough people don't play them, they can rocket ship right down. E-commerce platform. So I don't know, unless there's some incredible news on these or they're in play. Just like remember Sandile, same thing. Like I said, it's easy for a stock to go from a penny to 10 cents, 10 cents to $1. Some of these things, but it's hard to go from $1 to $20 or something. Sundial, same thing. Remember this one got up to almost $4. We were playing it. I think we got out at like $1.20, $1.30. Same thing. I mean, it's just this, is basically if you own this one, it's trending downward. Jaguar that we're still stuck in, but Jaguar is a little different because it's a Nasdaq listed stock and it's a little higher price stock, but it's the same thing. I mean, this was a 20-cent stock, 40 cent. I mean, why is it worth $4 or $5 that it got up to? Hopefully it gets back, or 4.47. I mean, we're hoping it gets back up there because we made a lot of money early on with it, and now we're stuck with it. I mean, couple of things there. We could either just blast it, get rid of it, and never look back on it, or we could average down. But I mean, this is a SPAC play. We're expecting this news on this the Dragon SPAC with it. Hopefully it comes through, and this thing could be $4 or $5. It's just enough people and talking about it, just like with GameStop. And if you guys have been watching GameStop, so this is interesting today. GameStop comes out with actually positive news, I would think, with the appointal of oh God, I can't think of his name, Ryan Cohen as chairman of the board. And the stock, drops, all the way down to 164, almost 15 points. Came back a little, but still down $7 today. I mean, I don't know what else bigger news they could have done and stuff. So, but I don't know. Definitely interested in stuff. So. And I'm still watching this one. I still think this one is going to be a really good put play. And the puts are still pretty, even with the down $7 today, the puts are still in that $5-6 range for the 100s, if you go out for like 5 weeks and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. And here's what I like to see. Thanks to the Jeff says, thanks to the 8.2 chance turning the volume up. Worked great today at Twin River Casino Lincoln. Congratulations on your big wins. So. Margaret says, Marjorie, Sendile, I see rising in the future. Good investment. Like I said, if they legalize, marijuana stocks and stuff, this stuff's going to, continue to go. Oops. That's weird. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, that's weird. It's not letting me. Let's see here. Technical difficulties. But yeah, like I said, I don't see Sendile going up. I don't know. I think it's trending downwards, and I think it looks pretty bad. I'm not sure why we can't get quotes to pull up, but not working there. This is interesting. Florida sues the CDC to allow cruises to resume U.S. sailings. Industry asked to be treated like airlines. This is interesting. I don't know if you guys have watched this. But, I mean, it is true. Why have airlines been able to move people around? I mean, I guess you really only go on a cruise as a vacation, but you're using airlines to go places as a vacation. This could get pretty interesting. The CDC and, some of these, and even like through this whole shutdown, I think a lot of us learned how much power the government really has. Like, how much power does the government really have? If we want to go do something, as a business owner, I was shocked. I mean, never in my whole life and business as, obviously this pandemic and being shut down. But what is the control and the rules that government can play? Now I know it doesn't matter how much you invest in your business or whatever you want to do in life, and we're supposed to be a free country. If they decide for a pandemic, they can just shut everything down. But it's also why certain states, obviously Texas was very aggressive, and Florida, during the shutdowns and being open a lot sooner, and like South Dakota and stuff like that. Does that mean you only open businesses in those states? Obviously the people who are governors and running those states, and now they probably won't be there 10 years from now. So it could be, you could go, you may relocate your business down there, think, we have another pandemic, I'm fine, never get shut down here. And then they shut you down. Here in Colorado, at one point they were going to, make liquor stores close, or, and do stuff. They said they weren't essential. I mean, I think there could be a huge lawsuit. Obviously, I own bars and nightclubs. I've had investments in the marijuana industry, but it's very interesting. Why was liquor stores and marijuana considered essential? I understand medical marijuana being essential if you have medical marijuana cards, and it is something, but if my restaurant can't be open, or we could only do takeout or, outdoor dining, but it was essential to be able to go to the liquor store and buy liquor. And, we could only have at one point during this, remember, 2 people or 4 people from the same household, and you couldn't be around other people, but 50 people could work in a giant liquor store. So it's interesting stuff. This will be interesting. In this, who is in charge? Where do you draw the line? And, also in the beginning, when we shut everything down, obviously nobody knew what was going on. But we also, in the beginning, we didn't really have a lot of death. We didn't have a lot of hospitalization. I remember in Colorado, we were shutting down. And at the beginning of this, if you guys all remember, we didn't have the testing like we have now, but I mean, it was, like one guy, they said brought it back from Switzerland skiing, and they were going to charge him criminally and all this stuff, which I don't even know what happened to that. But it's interesting. And like I said, so it'd be interesting what the CDC does, or in Florida and stuff, but that's a big piece of Florida's business. And for, while other travel destinations and stuff are recovering, a lot of hotels and obviously the ports and all those people still are out of work, and they still won't, if these cruises don't start until May, June, July, and get busier, a lot of people, still not able to take advantage of the reopening trades. If you can walk in a casino with 10,000 people gambling and playing and doing everything, why can't you walk in, or resort hotels and stuff like that? Why can't we go back and cruise? So be an interesting case, but very interesting, how it winds up. Let's see. Yahoo's back working. So CCIV a little bit down after hours, 6 cents. But so it was yesterday. It was up, down. So hopefully we'll see that big run. There's some more questions for you guys. Hello from Montreal. I missed the hockey poster you had at the old studio. Let's go, CCIV. Let's do it. Hopefully the CCIV tomorrow, we get that big dollar out of it. So let's see. Jeff Scott, here in my state, restaurants are offering sign-on bonuses because the government keep giving the 300 extra on unemployment. And that's the other thing. That's definitely hurting it. It's definitely being very, very hard with a lot of that stuff, getting people to work, because the tipped employees, they're making more money obviously by working, but unfortunately kitchen staff and a lot of those in counter staff, bus boys, some of those other positions, we can't pay $25 an hour. If we did, a beer that's $6 now, we'd have to charge $8, or and that's I mean, let's be honest about it. If you want to have value menus and dollar menu, and feed the whole family at McDonald's for or a whole meal for $6, they they need a lot of staff to produce it. Robots can't do it. Either you're going to pay a lot more money if they have to pay a lot more money in labor, and it was definitely something very big. A lot of people don't see this labor issue, and I understand. And to me, it's a free world. And the other thing I don't like about the whole labor issue is you have different areas and different costs of living. I get it. You live in, well, maybe not now because costs finally went down, but a year ago, before all this, if you lived in New York and Manhattan, the cost to live there or commute in there was a tremendous cost for someone. So yeah, I don't think you could work at McDonald's in Times Square for $15 an hour and live, near there and survive unless you had 12 people in an apartment and probably not the best living conditions. So I understand that. But I also understand they're also paying more in rents and other things, and they probably are charging more than the normal meal. If you go to a lot of airports, you'll see a lot of restaurants charge a higher amount of money. But if you're living in North Dakota, for example, the cost of living there, you could actually live probably comfortably at $12 an hour. And if you had two people, not saying that's what you want to live like, but I'm just saying the cost of living there is totally different than in other areas. And I just think the government shouldn't. Here's the thing: it's a supply and demand issue. Why does the government need to tell me what I need to pay someone? If I own a business and I can't get anybody to work for me, I'm going to either go out of business. And if the government makes me pay all this extra money, I could go out of business anyways. Or I'm going to say, you know what? I have a business that works at $15 an hour. Nobody wants to do this job. Nobody wants to work for me. I need to pay 16. At $16 an hour, if I have no staff, I'm going to go to 17. Then I'll go to 18. I'll go to $100 an hour. And if at $100 an hour, nobody wants to work for me, then two things: I either shut down or I go to $101 an hour. I mean, it's simple, but it's gonna be very interesting. Um, so interesting stuff. And like I said, I want everybody to make money, and I believe in taking good care of my staff and management and stuff, because the other thing is I want to keep them around. It's nice. I never have to worry about really anyone in my restaurants and bars quitting very often, especially management team wise, because I take care of them. Obviously, wait staff, it's a little harder to take care of. I mean, if you had no business coming in, maybe you could do some stuff for them. But I mean, they make very good money. Bartenders can make two, three, $400 a night or more. So a lot of money there. I mean, they're all making probably $30, $40 an hour when you count their tips in, and they've been all raised to $9 an hour. 20 years ago it was $2.13. They didn't even care if they came and got their check. They'd be like, I don't even care, $60 for, I worked 30 hours or something. Now it's like, it's the check's $500. They want their checks. It's a lot of extra money. So definitely, like I said, but you have to raise prices. I didn't raise my prices for 5 years. Every year, for the last couple of years, they keep raising minimum wage on us by $1. I have, like, at one of my bars, for example, I have 1,000 hours a week of labor. So it was a very expensive cost. So year number one, that cost me $50,000. Year number two, it cost me $100,000. Year number three, it cost me $150,000. So over a 3-year period, the government's mandatory wage increases took $300,000 out of my pocket. My sales didn't increase by, so on year, 3, 150,000, and let's say, most restaurants, a 10 to 20% profit margin. I didn't increase my sales by $1 million a year. It's very hard. It's easy if you have zero sales to grow, but if you have a business that's doing, let's say, $3 million a year, and I have all these increases, to go from 3 million to 4 million, you only have so much space and so much capacity. And even if I raised my prices, I would have to raise my prices by 25% to account for, and then I would actually lose business. So it's very, very, very tricky. And I can see why so many businesses are struggling and, having issues and stuff. So. All right, another question. Jazz V, what do you think about Jaguar? We're looking for that SPAC deal. That Dragon SPAC's the key here. Otherwise, it will be a waiting game. So definitely, hopefully, that SPAC deal happens. This one gets going and then pulls back. At least today it was up. Like I said, we either average, if this thing drops some more, probably average down because it seems to have a lot of support around $150, $160 right now, and if the thing takes off, my average cost on 180,000 shares right now is like $3.70. So I need a really big rally. I need a double. Do I want to throw? Do I want to try and get my average down to $2.50 and throw 300,000 more at this thing? I don't know. Right now, it doesn't make sense. And, I've seen this thing. This thing can move. When it moves, it can move 50 cents a dollar, or more in a day. So definitely be interesting what it does. Steve Miller says GSAT, Global Star. see. Look at the 1 month chart on this one. This one looks like it was a lot higher. Got as high as $3 from 28 cents. I don't know anything about this company. Slumped 27 in March, according to data. Global Intelligence. So it looks like they had bad earnings, and that's yesterday. So I don't know. This one would probably be one to get out of. This is, like I said, this is the same thing. A lot of these stocks, these are all 30, 40-cent stocks. They ran, they came back, and unless they really have something really, really big that's coming through on these, they're not going to go up anymore. There's nowhere for them to go just because they have no value. Nobody, they're way overvalued. If a company's not making any money, or like this one's losing money, and this was at 30 cents, it's probably where it was worth. And somebody came in and had a really good story, or renewable energy, or batteries, or something crazy, and that's why it took off and got going so strong. But hey, the good news is, guys, I made $123,400. Unfortunately, Kenny and the research team had a down day, lost $900, but it's okay. They're still up for the week. And since they started trading, see how they finish. Hopefully tomorrow, a lot of their picks come through. Hopefully we can see that 50 cents a buck at a CCIV tomorrow. And you know what, guys? You're the money makers. I'm just the Raja. This is Raja Makes Money. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click on that subscribe button. If you haven't followed me on Facebook, make sure you follow me on Facebook, where either platform that you're watching us on. Also, big shout out to our Patreon members. Any of you guys could join. Just go to patreon.com/Raja Makes Money. That's where I post my trades in real time, so you can follow along, and make sure you get added to our Facebook group. That is where Kenny and the research team post all their trades. But thank you guys so much. Wishing you guys the best of luck in the market, and I will see everybody tomorrow, 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, to see how we end the week. So good luck all. Take care and have a great rest of your night.